Our guest today is Kenny Zail, and Kenny is the owner of Making Teams Rock. After college, Kenny was a professional drummer for 13 years, playing in jazz trios, rock groups, and leading full orchestras. Kenny developed the ability to bring diverse players together for a common purpose, keeping them on task, yet letting them be creative. Kenny took these team leadership skills and went into sales management, where he led his sales teams to numerous sales awards. Kenny now uses TV-style game shows to motivate, engage, and train teams to better team results. Kenny, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
So Kenny, how did you come up with Making Teams Rock?
Well, it came from when I became a sales manager. My background, like you said, was music. I was a drummer. And I was given a sales department that had horrible results. And they felt that this was my first sales department they were giving me. They felt I couldn't hurt it. I mean, it was horrible. So I went there, and of course, my background being music, I started using some of the music principles to change the team around and started to have them start winning sales awards. And there's about 7 of them. And such as every musician plays their own instrument. So for instance, you wouldn't go to an Eric Clapton concert if he was going to play the violin. So I made sure that all my members on my team were playing their instrument, which meant their talent, their skills. Don't give them things to do that they're not good at. That's not going to help the team. Another one was that musicians are all playing the same song. So you want to set a goal and make sure everybody understands that goal, so that people don't have their own agendas, so that they're all working together. And another one is that everyone receives applause or no one receives applause in music. And so I made sure I had team goals that using their talents the team could perform. So you're not singling out 1 or 2 people and rewarding them and not rewarding the others. Because again, that's going to break down a team. Another one is all musicians practice. And all professionals practice. I mean, if you're talking lawyers or doctors or pilots, they all practice throughout their years. They don't just learn and then quit. The plane that landed on the Hudson, that Scully, the pilot, he said that he had practiced that for a long time, so that when it finally did happen, he knew what he needed to do. And it's the same thing with professionals. They need to keep practicing. Salespeople need to keep practicing. They just don't feel that, okay, I've made it and now I can just cruise. It doesn't happen that way.
How does team building improve profits for companies?
Everybody is making subconscious decisions all the time at work. And part of that is, what is the team culture? That's what's feeding those decisions. So for instance, I'm reading a book right now from a NASA aerospace scientist. And he puts in there that there was a airline that was 17 times having more airplane crashes, 17 times the average. And they figured out it was the poor team culture that was doing it. What was happening is that the way the team culture was set up is that the pilot was always right. You never questioned the pilot. Well, that was causing a lot of accidents. And that's the kind of thing that will happen in a company, is that a team culture will affect profits, and they don't realize it's happening. So you need to make sure that your team culture is working towards a goal that is going to increase profits. And many times when it's not increasing profits, they start pointing figures at the team players. And many times it's not the team players, it's the actual culture of the team that's affecting it.
Wow, who would think that a lack of team building would be dangerous?
Exactly, exactly.
So tell us about your use of game shows. How does that work?
Game shows, well, I do a lot of experiential activities. And one of them, probably the one I'm most best known for, is doing TV game shows. And the reason I use that is, first of all, it interacts with the brain instantly. People are engaged. As soon as you start, they're in a contest of some sort, being contested on a game show, their brain starts to work instantly. And you will find that people within a few minutes are high-fiving each other on the team. People that maybe didn't know each other, didn't know their names up until a few minutes ago. So it's very interactive, it's very engaging. Another part of game shows is that it fits a big demographic. I mean, you're talking Right now, in most industries, you're talking 4 generations are working in the same company, possibly. And game shows have been around since the 40s. So everybody understands them. It fits all demographics. Young people enjoy them, older people enjoy them. And so it's a great way of getting a lot of different kinds of generations working together. Plus, since I do a lot of team building, it does not use a lot of physical activity. So whether you are in great physical shape or you're not, it doesn't make a difference. You can be a contestant on a game show. And then, of course, it works real well with like technical subjects. I do a lot of game shows for like engineering companies or medical companies, things like that, where there's very high tech kind of questions that they want to use.
Okay, great. You do have a book that's going to be coming out pretty soon.
This spring, yes.
This spring, and it's called "Did Beethoven Do the Dishes?" That's the working title.
That's
right
the working
now.
title, yes.
So, tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, Did Beethoven Do the Dishes basically is talking about using people's talents that they have. And so the point is, if you had Beethoven in your group, you wouldn't have him doing the dishes. You'd have him composing music because that's what he's good at. And that's what, so that's the working title of that. The idea is making sure that your team players are doing their best because they're using their skills and talents that they have. And it goes through, like I mentioned earlier, the different principles of music and how you can relate those and use those in your companies.
What piece of advice would you give our viewers, our small business viewers, to grow business this year?
Businesses there's 3 parts to a business. It's the person, the process, and the prize. And we talk about the person. We talked a little bit about that, how they're using their talents, what are their values, what kind of social experiences do they have. When you're talking about the process, you're talking about whether something is logical or more creative, whether it's more physical or more mental. And when you're talking about prizes, we're talking about rewards. What kind of rewards somebody wants. Now, everybody is unique. So, for instance, in rewards, we could be talking about recognition, and recognition can be anything from money or a title or a company car or a better office, whatever it may happen to be, or a picture in the newsletter, whatever that recognition is. Everybody has a different feeling for what their recognition is they want. The second part of rewards, or the prize, is the environment. What are they working in? What kind of environment are they working in? Are they allowed to be more creative? Are they somebody looking over their shoulder all the time? That's another type of reward. People will leave a company and go to another company just because of the environment. They feel better in another company. And then the final part of the prize or the rewards is purpose. What is my purpose? Why am I doing this? People want to feel that if they're going to spend, a quarter of their time working at a company, that they're doing it for a reason. It isn't just the money, and it isn't just the friends at work, but they're really doing something. And so that third part of having rewards and prizes is what is my purpose? Why am I doing this? And so those are the 3.
Well, Kenny, thanks so much for being with us today. I enjoyed our chat.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us. This is Diane Bogino signing off until next time on Business Notes.